So since I'm still working on this project, I wanted to come up with something new to talk to you about, and this is cotton yarn. I figured I'd give you some information about cotton yarn. Um, Cotton yarn is made from plants as compared to wool, which is sort of the fleece or the hair of a sheep. So cotton yarn can be considered vegan as well. It is spun from cotton bolls, BOLLS, but they're also the same cotton balls, BALLS, that you buy from the grocery store or the your local Target, except with the seeds removed. Some other differences between cotton and wool. Cotton is known as being cooler than wool, but it's also what we call inelastic. In other words, it doesn't stretch and bounce back like wool does. So if you're making a garment out of cotton yarn, it will bag out or sag out, even if it's knitted. Well, knitted fabric does have some resilience to it, but a cotton knitted fabric will have less recovery than a wool-based knitted fabric. And since cotton is known as being sort of a cooler fiber than wool, i.e. cotton doesn't trap heat or retain heat in the same way that wool does. Cotton is also known as being very wearable for warm and humid climates, such as North Carolina. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it gets pretty hot and humid here in the summer times. So you can think of using cotton yarns for nice, tank tops or airy tops, stuff like that, or baby blankets for, your summertime babies. If you're very industrious, you can think of cotton for maybe shorts. I've seen those. And cotton for, summer wraps or cardigans, again, because it's not going to trap the heat quite as much as wool is. So, for those cool summer nights, if you're up in the north, or those cool air-conditioned areas, if you're in the south and it's air conditioning is on full blast and you get cold a little bit easily like I do, it's great for those summertime months. Cotton yarn does come in all the weights. I'm going to refer as to the American weights, such as worsted weight, DK or sport weight, and then fingering, and then lace weight. Cotton yarn's very readily available. I know that Sugar and Cream is a very common brand that you can find at the local Joann's or Michael's stores. Peaches and Cream is sort of the Walmart version of the same Sugar and Cream brands. Those are often made for, into, washcloths or dishcloths. The Jubilee Select cotton yarn is the cotton yarn that my friend gave me, and this is actually the first time I've ever worked with. And it's beautiful. This is a fingering weight, and it's very easy to work with. It's not splitty at all. You can do it quickly, or I can do it quickly. And the stitch definition is wonderful. Online retailers that I know ship to the United States or are based in the United States include Webs Yarn, which is yarn.com. Knitpicks is also a great retailer that ships out to the United States. Hobbii, Hobbii. Yarn is actually based out of Germany, but they ship to the United States, and they have a great cotton yarn selection. Lovecrafts.com sells cotton yarn. You can also, of course, find cotton yarns on Etsy from independent sellers. There's also a relatively new collaboration of independent sellers called GoImagine.com. That company, Go Imagine, is similar to Etsy, which it's a collective of independent sellers with sort of their virtual online booths selling their handcrafted, handmade stuff. The company as a whole, Go Imagine as a whole, donates their profits to charity. I'm not affiliated with any of the places that I just listed, but I just thought that the concept of Go Imagine was neat since I primarily make items for charity myself. Um, Looking up some patterns that use cotton yarn, the top 3 in the hot right now list on Ravelry.com is Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and it looks like a knitted pattern. The second one currently is Vellichor by Andrea Mowry, and that is a knitted pattern. And the third hot right now pattern on Ravelry for cotton yarn is Yume by Isabell Kraemer, and I will link to each of those in my show notes. The top 3 new to Ravelry patterns are the first 2 are crochet patterns. One is the Easter Bunny bottle cover by Camelia Mitt. The second most, or the newest one, is another crocheted pattern called Kimono Doll by Fay Lyth. And the third one listed here on Ravelry is a Chickling cable scarf by Paintbox yarns, and that's from Lovecrafts. And I will link those links to the show notes as well. Some cotton yarn knitting patterns that I just personally think are neat. One is the Sangria skirt by Anne Hansen. The silhouette is of a pencil skirt, and a pencil skirt is sort of fitted to your waist and your hips. It looks like it's got a drawstring closure at the waist, and it's very lacy. You probably do need to wear something underneath it, but it's really quite pretty. A nice pattern for charity knitting is called Knit in the Pit Soap Sack, and it's by Debbie Trainor. It was originally published on the SACK, S-A-C-K website. Soap sacks are great ways for people who are in between residences, perhaps, in which they can drop their used bar of wet soap into a hand crocheted or hand knitted or some other sack to let their bar of soap dry out in between uses. And I will link that pattern to the show notes. A pretty crocheted blanket would be Marnie's Garden by Hooked on Sunshine. It is kind of a mandala-esque type of crocheted pattern. It's worked up in shades of gray or shades of a particular colorway, and it's really quite darling. And of course, all of the patterns I just mentioned are worked up in a cotton yarn, and all the patterns can be found through Ravelry. I'll put the links in the show notes. That's it for this week. I am asking for questions to do Q&A sessions on my videos because I enjoy researching and I enjoy answering questions and being able to help others. So if you can put your questions in the comments, I would really love that, and I will answer them as I get to them in upcoming videos. Questions need to be knitting related, crochet related, yarn related, sewing, spinning, or weaving related. And if I don't know the answer, I will try to look it up for you, or I'll just let you know that I don't know. If you are seeking help for a particular designer's instruction, my primary answer would generally be to either reach out to the designer of that pattern or go to your local independent yarn shop and see if the instructor there or the owner there can help you out with the design. There are also plenty of online forums on social media in which to ask those questions. I defer that question to those other resources because I think you'll just get better help that way. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And if you're a new viewer, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy your fiber enthusiasm for the week. Thank you. Bye.